Mask of the Phantasm is partially an origin story and partially a murder mystery. Bottom line is, a mysterious vigilante is murdering a bunch of criminals. Batman needs to find out who it is because he's getting blamed for the murders. The Joker is also trying to figure out who it is because he was tied to the criminals who are being killed. Everything in the past is linked up to what's going on in the present, and both meld together perfectly. In Return to the Joker, Batman is trying to figure out how the Joker has somehow returned looking exactly the same despite the fact that he should be in his 80s and was supposedly killed years before. Bruce Wayne refuses to tell him because it's something him, Barbara, and Tim have kept between themselves. Eventually, Barbara tells Terry the story, which is also linked to what is going on in the present. Honestly, my entire impression of the plot is going to come down to one moment in both films, and that's the moment when the mystery is solved and the answer is given. This moment decided for me which film was superior, because while the ideas behind both memories are really good, and they both have their moments, one film handles this much better than the other, and most of what it comes down to is suspension of disbelief. In Mask of the Phantasm, the mysterious vigilante turns out to be Andrea, Bruce Wayne's former fiancée. The reveal for this is awesome, until the point when you get the answer you're led to believe it's Andrea's father because Andrea herself is somewhat mysterious about his whereabouts. He's built a lot like the vigilante, and he was unwillingly involved with the criminals. But as it turns out, he was killed, and there are actually a lot of nice little hints about this early on.
Can we make it work this time?
I want to say yes, but you know it's going to come down between me and your father.
Daddy doesn't matter anymore.
The actual moment when you find out it was her and not him is exceptionally well done. This is a well-crafted mystery. Return of the Joker sets up its mystery well enough too. Leading up to it, we get a story about how the Joker was killed. As it turns out, Tim did it. This flashback is deeply disturbing, and the mystery itself, well, I have to say I did not expect who was involved until the reveal. Throughout this movie, I was genuinely curious about how the Joker managed to turn up after however many years.
So, the Joker, huh? Looks pretty spry for a guy who's got to be, what, mid-80s? Any theories on that? Clone? Robot? Suspended animation due to floating around frozen in a block of ice?
Shut up and drive.
I remember thinking early on that whatever the answer turned out to be, it was going to set the standard for the whole film. And...
My God.
Oh, I never get tired of that.
Oh, no, no. Oh, movie. Oh, that is just silly. Like I said, suspension of disbelief. I can buy that this chick was the masked killer because she's built pretty heavily, the voice is obviously synthesized, and she was shown to have some martial abilities early on in the movie. About the only thing I question is the theatrics. No idea how she pulled that off. Yes, the costume is a bit bulky for her, but it is a full body costume. Maybe it's padded. Point is, I will accept it. Suspension of disbelief allows me to accept it. But this I cannot accept. Maybe if they'd made him a little closer to the Joker's build and kept the Joker in shadow a little. Hell, Tim as a kid looks more like the Joker than his older self does. I can't accept that a chip in someone's neck can turn them into someone else. Make them behave like someone else? Yes, I'll accept that, but this is just really hard to swallow, and honestly, it ruins it for me. This fight should be totally badass, but I just can't stop thinking about how much of a cop-out that transformation was. And before you say, but Danny, this is the future, that's the whole point of Batman Beyond. This might be the future, but when the Joker planted the chip, it was the past. And yeah, the animated series had its share of impossible technology and chemicals, but in all occasions I'm willing to believe them because the shows are well written and well crafted. I'm not saying this movie isn't, but this? Well, it's kind of like in Advent Children when that clone moron turns into Sephiroth because Genova's head juices spill on him. It feels like it's just a cheap cop-out to get the badass villain out to fight the hero. Now that was a terrible movie, but honestly this moment really doesn't feel much better crafted than that. I mean, a computer chip doesn't even really feel much like the Joker. Turning someone insane feels like the Joker. I mean, why can't it just be a matter of psychology? Why do we have to get technology involved? If you can't figure out a logical, well-crafted way to get the real Joker into the future, then don't do it. For instance, I recently saw the episode Out of the Past from Batman Beyond where Ra's al Ghul comes back after taking over his daughter's body. And yeah, kind of almost the same thing going on here, except in that episode, he doesn't magically turn back into Ra's al Ghul because that would be stupid. So now we come to the unavoidable part of this review. I have to talk about the shows. Again, I'm not familiar with the series as a whole, but from what I've seen, I don't think Batman Beyond surpasses the animated series. I know, shocking. Batman Beyond is entertaining. The writing is good, the villains are good, I love the way they've characterized the older Bruce Wayne, and Terry isn't a bad character. I do like the show. It kind of reminds me of Cartoon Network's Teen Titans, actually, although I think Teen Titans may be a little better. And that's not a slight. I actually love the Teen Titans. But what I'm trying to say is Batman Beyond is not as good as the animated series. Because every episode I've seen previously and every episode I've seen in preparation for this show just made me want to watch more. That show is damn good. Batman Beyond is a pretty good show. The animated series is just much, much better. And that pretty much sums up the movies too. Like the animated series, Batman Beyond is supposed to be a dark, edgy look at Batman. The movie is definitely disturbing at times, and I can see why the version I've got is the uncut version. If you like Batman Beyond, give the movie a shot. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just don't expect it to be better than Mask of the Phantasm. I'm the animated heroine. I'm gonna go watch more Batman.